So before we begin, I just want to say thank you for the huge support on the last video and this channel as a whole. You guys helped me so much that I almost got into a debate over whether or not to make a video about Sekiro or Succession. Now you might be asking, Prince, what the hell does a game about being a shinobi guts dying more than twice and a show about privileged white people looking for a daddy's approval have to do with Spider-Man? The answer is absolutely nothing, except the Black Air Force activity between them. Specifically, Succession and Logan Roy's character and the chaotic shit that he creates, destroys, abuses, verbally abuses, manipulates, dictates. You get the point already. I'll be sure to talk about Sekiro for another video since there's so much to unpack. And I'm not trying to half-ass it like the last Celtics and Miami Heat's games, but that's none of my business. Also, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to not only this channel, but the Twitch as well for more crackhead activity, since I'm more active on there and y'all really want more of that type of activity. You fucking feeds. I'll be happy to sell some more of this batch too. My energy is on 10 and my editor re-up this week, so let's talk about it. So off the bat, if you haven't watched Succession, please proceed with caution because we are going to be talking about minor spoilers for the final season. But if you're caught up, great. I won't have to remind you about one of the people who are interested in politics at a young age. But aside from that, let me tell you about who Logan Roy really is and the purpose this show is about. Especially since not too many people, specifically ones who aren't Caucasian, don't know about it or have interest in watching it. Not saying it's a problem by any means, you know what I'm saying, no racial. But you barely see any people with melanin in their system. Jess doesn't count because she barely passed the criteria. If I didn't know any better, I would have thought she was related to Obama. Long story short though, he's a businessman and father who has 4 kids who seek to take his place in running his business Waystar Royco, which I like to call Waystar Rom-Com. One is a druggie, narcissist, an unhinged horn dog, and one who was interested in politics at a very young age. Logan, if you couldn't tell already, is a piece of shit to each of them in separate ways. I'm not gonna get into all the moments he does in the show, because just to name them all, I would need like 20 scripts, some lace martinis, and Carolina's soothing voice in my ear saying, "It's okay."
This is a company vehicle.
But only the ones that mainly affect the story are the kids, bro. Starting with Kendall Roy, season 1. Even though Kendall Roy is a druggie out of the rest, he actually has a lot to offer business-wise. He is more oriented toward making certain decisions in the company and is well calculated with past business experience. The only problem is that he is always one step behind Logan every single time. It's actually kind of depressing to watch. Example A. Early in the first season, when Kendall was supposed to show up for a board meeting, which would have easily solidified him as the next successor for Waystar, Logan, out of fucking nowhere, pops up earlier in the cut like, "Oh no, you buzzard fucks aren't trying to get rid of and replace me with a fashionably late stand from beyond two souls without my permission." Then here goes Kendall, late as fuck, saying,
"What's the vote? My son. That was your best shot?"
Bro wasn't even invited and still ruined his hopes and dreams. That's like when Maka ruined her chance for Soul to become a death scythe, only to gather all 99 souls again from scratch. That's disappointing. Actually, fuck that. The whole anime as a whole was disappointed. If we're keeping it a stack, but let's get back on track. After this point, King Kaneki is just going through it, still processing everything that just happened, even asking Logan out of desperation how long it'll take for him to step down. You wanna know what this old coot says?
5 years? 10.
Dad, seriously.
Did you want to be a bitch about it? It's my company and I can do what I want. Maybe if you weren't attentive to your adopted daughter and sperm donor, you would have made it in time to replace me, but nope. You're just gonna have to deal with it and fuck off. He didn't say that, but if he did, it would have been bad. But not as bad as example B, which stands for blackmail at the end of season 1. Now, after Kendall tries to bear hug Logan during Shiv's wedding just to fuck up his own business, then later does some shit you would do in one of the endings in GTA 5, he ends up acting like nothing happens in the morning. And it actually works. It works. It really does work. For at least an hour until Logan talks to him like normal, up until he gives him an ultimatum, which goes a bit like this. Tell Stewie, or whoever convinced you to pull a fucking bear hug, to call it off. My wage is above Yogi Bear and that prick who can't prevent forest fires. You think this is going to harm me?
There's nothing, I don't think,
You've not been yourself lately, and I'm not talking about the yerkies you've been taking.
There's nothing, I don't think,
Per 30, I just popped a per 30, yeah, fuck off. This is a defining moment, son. A rich kid who kills a boy and ends in fates worse than death. Or it can be what it always should have been, where father and son are reconciled. Now come and give me some sugar.
You're my boy. You're my number one boy.
Manipulation at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. Ain't nobody had that type of toxicity unless they read all 48 laws of power. Sure, he genuinely had thoughts of comfort during his interactions, but the fact that he could still find leverage in such a dark moment, it's just fucked up in every sense of the word. Which seamlessly leads to our next form of Black Air Force toxicity. Shiv Roy, Season 2. Now, right off the bat and off the script, I hate Shiv. I fucking hate Shiv for so many reasons. I don't know what Shay Frills was smoking during his video about Shiv, but I did not see any of those qualities, especially later in the series where her little Nick.
You know what you is. You thought you were finna get banned with your Nick.
You thought I was gonna say it, little bitch. You lucky I ain't got monetized yet and still planting the seeds of hard work and dedication in this channel for years to come, unlike this bitch. Disrespectfully. Even if she is pretty and has the thickness and peaches from Georgia, Jerry, Carolina, and Maria got you beat by a mile, a fucking landslide. You better call respect, little whore, before you get end up in a gutter like your little. No, let me stop. I'm not trying to spoil anybody. I'm not trying to spoil anybody yet. This ain't about Shiv. Anyways, Logan is rarely aggressive towards S to the HIV, the way he is to Ken, Kaneki, and Rome. She's always been protected from the worst. Example A, 2 episodes leading up to season 2, she calls her dad a whole lot of things that obviously aren't good. And then example B, cheats on her fiance with a political aide who dug up dirt on someone from Logan's camp, which is the whole reason Logan threatens her with his journalist to air her dirty laundry and discredit her, even flat out telling her.
Maybe I should just let them come for you.
Like who?
Like, I don't know, but I hear things.
Baba Booey.
Are you threatening me?
Absolutely not.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
He is a literal villain. He is a literal fucking villain. I couldn't imagine Tony Soprano or Walter White saying this to their daughter at least. But Kendall, he did something foul, but it was out of self-defense. But the moment she calls bro a dinosaur call, then Rome is the one getting bitch slapped more than Will Smith did to Chris Rock. Imagine, bro. Imagine. The closest thing that Logan does in terms of not protecting Shiv is when she makes a risk for the safety of the company later on in season 3, when Logan can't speak in front of the press due to his dementia kicking in. Fortunately, it works and makes the whole company congratulate her, except for Rogan. For Logan. Even slapping the drink out of her hands and then goes,
I'm trying to talk to Jerry about something important. Stop buzzing in my fucking ear!
Oh! Well,
now, I know her face is stressed under pressure and embarrassment, and I know that's her father and all, but me personally, I just could not let it slide. You want to see me, you old bastard. You could not let that slide. That verbal abuse can do so much till your palpitations kick in and have to pull the plug on your old ass like the other old Logan, but I digress. The major thing that Logan does to Shiv is believing in a fantasy that wasn't there in the first place. Like telling her if she wants the role of the successor for Waystar. And you already know how this is gonna go. Later, it ends up being bullshit, obviously, and her best course of action is putting her name in for the Pierce job, which is basically Logan's ops in business terms. After a certain point, you can see how Logan deals with betrayal in a number of ways, which goes to my forbidden example C. Boar on the floor. Just the name for this alone, you can already tell how this shit is going to end. What Shiv pulled was just the tip of the iceberg, and there was someone else, not gonna say no names, who was being a rat, a mole inside the Waystar operations and whatnot. So what does he do, ladies and gentlemen? Did he A, condemn almost half the staff out of frustration? B, have dinner with family and friends to figure out who snitched? Or C, assume that it was one of his children and gives them the short end of the stick? The answer is all of the above, damn it.
Take it for real, Dad.
Stand the fuck up!
oh!
Looking at Ken's face, I can't help but suspect that this isn't the first time Logan is pulling some shit like this. Bro can't catch a break. Mind you, this is after the incident he did in the season 1 finale, so he's looking like Theon Greyjoy after he got his balls chopped off on some Wu-Tang shit. Then this nigga goes,
Tom!
Yes?
Sit on the floor. It's fun.
define fun. Please, when I'm thinking fun, I'm thinking about SpongeBob. When I'm thinking fun, I'm thinking about going outside, playing Valorant, Overwatch, anything that's related fun, Minecraft. Not even Tony Soprano treated Georgie the bartender as bad as this, especially not in the term fun. Maybe he would say more than just fun to his attractive, terrified, and confused therapist. I don't know. This man Logan really made a private family dinner to have a great time and drinking shit. Just to take their phones like we in Abdul Up Next's high school video and propose to play a game called Boar on the Floor with Frank, Greg, and Tom as the suspects, where they sit in the corner, eat sausage off the floor, and the one that doesn't get one is automatically the rat. So you mean to tell me that niggas really had a seat at the dinner table getting highly intoxicated just to find out that they are going to get emasculated acting like a boar and sucking on glizzies? Am I watching the same show? Let me find out Logan is really a Lannister in disguise, bro. I'll be sick as fuck. Even going another mile further to oink like their lives depended on it. They out here tumbling over each other, trying to take each other's glizzies. While this is happening, Rome, the only one who is using a phone, decides to start recording this like it's a Real Housewives of New York City. Shit, you might as well put Worldstar on it, and I promise you I couldn't tell the difference. And you want to know the best part about all this? Is that none of these motherfuckers were master splinters to begin with. The person who leaked Logan's company to begin with was his childhood best friend who died the same fucking day, acting like the shit he pulled last night didn't happen and was all a fever dream. And everyone who didn't back Kendall when he tried to get the board to vote against Logan because he was becoming deranged in the first season is just questioning all their life choices now. All their life choice. You know, I think I might want to grab a martini now. Jesus Christ. If this isn't the epitome of Black Air Force activity, I don't know what it is anymore. Before we start this last case of evidence though, I want to address another spoiler warning for those who haven't seen season 4 in its entirety. This is a spoiler warning because if I see one comment talking about how I ruined the experience for you, I'm going to find where you live and slap the shit out you. Just to travel back in time when you were a kid, to smack your first ice cream cone out your hand and then slap the shit out you another time while looking at your mama dead in her eyes and telling her how I take his life for $200. That escalated kind of quickly. Logan Roy, season 3 and 4. Now the thing with Roman is that unlike Ken and Shiv, he never shows signs of sadness, guilt, or blackmail. The way you see how he acts, you can tell he is not fazed by anything. If you thought Ken killing the waiter was bad, try watching your own rocket launch fail as it goes out in flames, killing at least more than one person in that bitch, only to go, damn. I think I might just kill Joji. He has been conditioned to a lot of fucked up shit in the past. Hence why I didn't address when Logan slapped Rome any further in Shiv's case, because he's the literal Joker in the family. The only way you're gonna find out how he's got these scars is from childhood trauma, which I'm gonna get to in a bit, and Roy's wedding. This episode solidifies a wide chain of events that are waiting to happen after this point. Before this, there has been at least one time when Logan manipulates Rome into thinking he could become the successor, but it's easily changed after Rome accidentally sends a dick pic to his father. Yes, you heard me right. He accidentally sends a dick pic to his father in a fucking board meeting where everybody is around them. Hear me out, okay? I like me some Jerry. Lord knows I do. Dr. Umar Johnson could call me a coon all he likes and portray me as a milkman. I don't give a fuck. The day I'ma stop loving me some sweet Jerry is the day that nigga FDMG school is released to the public. Like, it's been almost 14 years since his school has not been complete yet. Why is that? Why is that, nigga? But alas, Rome gets more close to Jerry, but pushes his sexual antics too far, hence the dick pic. Fast forward to Roy's wedding, and if you are a die-hard HBO fan like myself, you know any episode that is titled Wedding is never going to end well. It's like an anniversary the way they come up with their own fucked up shit in wedding scenes. Like, if the directors want the viewers to know how fucked up their own marriages are, just say that. You'll be okay. It's okay. While the siblings are all gathered at Roy's wedding, Roman gets a call from Tom while he's in a plane with Logan and tells him about his condition with an ounce of sugarcoating in the next 15 minutes. You can tell the more that they are on the phone, the more each sibling is going through different emotions, and the more it gets uncomfortable, including Roman himself. Unfortunately, the bandage is ripped off and it's confirmed that Logan is dead for good. The only time where a death off screen is actually off screen and not no MCU bullshit. We have never seen this level of anxiety from Rome before. You can tell that the emotional responses Shiv and Ken gives are not as sympathetic, unlike his. Man is walking back and forth uncontrollably like he just refreshed his Wells Fargo session and realizes there's a negative $1 million overdraft in his name. Later on, when we get to the funeral, this is not your average funeral. At first, it seems like everyone is there to mourn their loss for him, and you might be half right, but this is still a game being played. Don't get it fooled, don't get it twisted. Every politician, secretary, higher officials, even the president are here for power at the end of the day. So whatever the Roy siblings do while speaking their name or piece about Logan will be documented and held on a pedestal for years to come. The choice ends up being Rome to speak because he never tried to backstab Logan for one, and two, never showed signs of weakness, unlike Shiv and Ken. Or so we thought.
Actually, I can't do that anymore. I can't. I tried to say it. I can't. It's okay. Just take a breath. Hey.
It's okay. It's okay. Just take
It's okay. Is he in there? Yeah. Get him out. Hey, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, he folded. Bro folded so bad. Harder than the Super Bowl against the Seahawks versus Patriots in 2014 type beat. Even Jerry, the one who gets the most harassment from this man, is feeling more sympathetic towards him than anyone in that room. And like I said before, it is okay as a human being to feel this type of way at a funeral. But these people aren't human beings if you haven't noticed. You're in a cathedral with snakes, vampires, fascists, and the Northman who likes to send his own blood to people. Everyone here is far from a human, bro. Let's keep it a bean. After Rome's breakdown, Kendall Roy takes his spot and speaks for Logan and the rest of the people at the funeral. But the damage has already been done. Not only did Roman not get any type of approval from his dad, even in death, he still didn't get the approval from his peers after the funeral. They even recorded him crying on stage and lost most of the people's respect, even the president. That's tough. Moral of the story is, Logan is another pinnacle of Black Air Force activity in a nutshell. He was a villainous father in every step of the word. The sheer amount of Black Air Force energy from a business perspective is so powerful, I wouldn't be surprised if he bought Rock Nation right from under Jay-Z's dreadlocks out of spite. I would talk about Connor and Logan's dynamic, but he learned a long time ago that he doesn't want the business as much as the other three, and hasn't changed morally because of that, so he's in the clear. Congrats, Logan. The best children you could create to make your mess is become suicidal to your name. And in conclusion, Connor Roy was interested in politics from a very young age.